Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the wonderful series of Positivity. We have here someone that has come highly recommended as one of the most positive humans in Jess Martin's life. So hello, Lucy Horsell.
Hi Alex. I feel like I'm falling.
Now, before we do anything, I'd just like to comment on your fantastic wardrobe today. Can you just share a little bit more about it, please?
So this is my very special Wednesday jumper that I have actually worn most Wednesdays in lockdown. I do wash it, but it's my Mean Girls jumper. So all you Mean Girls fans out there, we know what we do on Wednesdays. We wear pink. And frankly, at times like this, a goal of just wearing pink today feels like a big achievement. So I'm really proud of myself. But another successful Wednesday in pink.
Yay, that's amazing. Thank you, Lucy. Well done you. And I think that is very important because most people's wardrobe during lockdown has been pajama bottoms, so the fact that you have this is amazing. So keep
Honestly,
that
I did my washing the other day and the washing line looked like JD Sports. Jumpers.
I've forgotten how to do buttons. I just wear, just sports gear all the time.
Do a bra up because I can't.
No idea.
But let's leave that for another chat.
I did a surprise Zoom for Mum's birthday, and my friend texted me saying, "I'm even going to put a bra on for this."
I know my interview yesterday, which actually I'm waiting to hear about that. So if if I don't hear before this goes live, if we could just take that part out. Because it's I don't think it's the type of thing Matthew would find funny.
Amazing. So obviously this is the Positivity series. Everyone needs to grab themselves a cuppa and enjoy a cup of tea while listening to this. So we're hoping that you've got your cup of tea here. Nice. What's your go-to?
Well, I am alive today from North Yorkshire, and I am a Yorkshire girl at heart. So this is a proper. Well, you can't receive some drank half of it because waste not want. Cold in this house, it goes cold fast. It's a proper Yorkshire builder's tea. Very strong, no sugar, little bit of milk because Dad gets a bit funny about milk rations. Tough times. So yeah, nothing flowery, nothing fancy, nothing good for me. Just proper tea.
Good. As Jess said, you're a proper Yorkshire lass. So yes, that's what we like to hear. Amazing. So obviously you're up in Yorkshire, as you've just said, and living with your dad. And what are you doing for work during lockdown? And how is it different to normal and everyday life?
Well, I had actually already back in January decided to leave my job and take some time out to take a bit of a break, and obviously didn't do that thinking that I'd come back to England and be on the world's longest break ever. So I've actually been not formally working since January, go me. But I've been working with a dear friend of mine, Myth, on her business and project called This Is Me, which is a peer-to-peer student-led mentoring platform for schools, which she set up about 12 months ago, but we've been working together on making that virtual. So really trying to work with schools to take a really good news story out of lockdown. So can we make mentoring done online? Because as much as I don't like or ever would tell kids to be glued to their screens, that is how they want to communicate. And actually right now, it's also being forced to embrace technology. So we've been working very closely together on how could we do mentoring remotely and virtually, which has its upside, frankly. When schools go back, it means that it's something that can be maintained year round. It doesn't depend on term time. And frankly, it also doesn't, ever have the risk of falling off the cliff again if that's not we ever want to talk about it, but COVID-20 crops up next year, then race that quite have to be stand on. So we've been working together on that project, which has been great and very close to Mitt's heart, but also very close to mine, just trying to do something great for the young people of the country who have been, I'd say, arguably the worst hit by everything that's going on.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And I think everyone needs a mentor more than ever at the moment. I think being in a bubble at home with your family, you forget how other people are dealing with it. So this is exactly what students need. Have you seen that people have been responding well to it?
Yeah, do you know what, the response has been amazing, and we love the idea, great lineup. The problem we have obviously is that schools are dictated by bursars, as you'll know, Alex, and bursars are very quick to say right now anything that does come under the essential running cost of a school is a luxury we can't afford. But I totally get that, and Miff and I have been working on a financial structure that means we can still deliver what we want to deliver in good faith, knowing that it might just be down the line that we get paid. So it's you know, very fortunate. We're in a position where we're, you know, Miff's married, she lives with her husband, I'm at home with my dad, who, lucky for me, is happy to house me and feed me without too much. So actually we're not, it was never a money-making venture for us. It was about a bigger goal and a bigger investment, hopefully for something that's going to stand the test of time. So the here and now is a challenge, but it's not one that isn't insurmountable. So
yeah,
so it's been great, and you know, it's great that the schools don't see this as an opportunity to can wellbeing, because it's usually the first thing that falls off the page when schools get busy. But right now, with lockdown, with everything that comes with that, you know, wellbeing is going to be more important than ever for schools, including reintegration in September and how that feels and what it looks like.
no, exactly. No, that's amazing. So keep it up, and as you say, ready to get the ball rolling from September when it's all going to be back in action. So you said that you're living with your dad and with your family. How's that, and how are you spending free time in lockdown? How are you keeping active, positive, and so on?
I mean, I'm not really. I'm pretty negative. I don't do anything. I don't. No, I'm joking.
Right, we're cancelling this.
This is the exclusive negativity episode.
Lucy Horsell.
Do that to you, know me. I'm always perky. So I am back at home with the old man, which is lovely, and my stepmom and my delightful 31-year-old brother, who's a couple of years older than me. And it's the first time we've all lived together since I was 18. Actually, even Tom wasn't there then. So when we all lived together last, I was 16, which means I was completely vile to live with, so it didn't go very well. And we've all come under one roof after living our own lives for a long time. And to be honest, I thought I gave us a week really before I was really childlike as a 28-year-old pathetic person, telling them I really owned. But actually, we have done so well. We get on brilliantly. We've all got into our own routines and rhythms. My dad's working still, so he's pretty busy. I've obviously been really busy with this is me. My brother, he's been furloughed. He's had a bit more free time, but he's been, oh, he's going to kill me for this. He's been dating, socially distant dating, which is all very exciting. My stepmom's super busy doing up a property, which actually has been able to pretty much carry on in terms of plans and everything else. So we've been ticking over pretty amazingly as a unit, actually, and I think it's been really good for us, and I really don't think we will be the only family that's benefited from this. Actually, in the long run, I think about us all coming together at Christmas and seeing that as a really enjoyable experience, rather than the usual dread that I fear of us all being under one roof for 5 days and frankly murder each other. I think we've actually really taken a big step forward as a family that is compromised of adults now, not hierarchy and children, and you know, it's just a really nice place to be. So I've also got 2 spaniels who, God, I can't believe I forgot them, the most important members of the family.
How can you forget a spaniel?
You know what? I'm really sad they're not here, because I would have had Margot on my lap because she likes to sit there, but they're out in the rain having a splash around in puddles with Dad. So they keep us endlessly entertained, and we're super lucky because we're up in North Yorkshire. We've got the garden, we've got fields, we've got endless walking, and we've just been living a very simple, happy life together as a foursome, really. We're walking a lot and cooking a lot and spending time gardening and enjoying the sunshine until today. And working out. I've been working out every other day with my friend actually in Sydney, which is fun. So that's the great thing with everything being on Zoom, isn't it? And I've been largely kicking my brother's ass to join in, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. Like just making him miserable, really, shouting at him, making him realise what proper training is. But we've loved it, working together on it, and I think for the first time ever, he's really enjoyed, you know, taking care of his body and training, which he's never the last time he admits the last time he was in a gym was at the sweatbox out of school when he was 17, and he hated every minute of it. Whereas we've got a pretty nice gym set up in the living room now, and we've really enjoyed doing that together. So it's actually been quite fascinating.
That's amazing. And I think you're right. Like, everyone has gone back to remembering what they love about family time, and they're actually having the chance to do that. It's so difficult to get a family like yours all together. Like you say, it's probably only Christmas. So actually to have this time, you can actually remember what you love about each other and the activities that you love doing, and just slow down that pace a bit.
Just get to know each other a little bit again, isn't it? Because Christmas is always a surreal time anyway. It's not just your normal Monday to Sunday, quite monotonous, and also that, you know, whenever we come home, I live in Brighton, so when I come up to North Yorkshire, I usually call to see my dad, and then I'm off seeing various other people in North Yorkshire. My brother's the same, so actually not being able to go and just be with our mates means we have to use each other for social interaction, and it's been really good. We do a good news story every night around the dinner table, which was my idea. So instead of sitting around and discussing coronavirus, everyone has to bring their good news of the day, which can be anything from, I think my brother had the other day that he held his breath for over 3 minutes or something. He does like meditation and stuff, so I think it's actually quite, you know, very meaningful. I can hold my breath for like 7 seconds, but that's 10 years of smoking.
Please don't try it. Please don't try it now.
No, that'll be a good episode, won't it? Me slowly going blue. And we have a bowl. We've all put loads of movies, really good movies, into a bowl, and every night we just pull a movie out and we get on with it and we just watch it, because like everyone in the world, we spend most of our time watching the Netflix home screen, debating which film to watch and discussing why we don't want to watch that one, and it's so dull. And that's worked really well. So every night by about 9 o'clock, we sit down, we pull a movie, we're taking turns, and we just put on whatever came out of the bowl, and everyone just sucks it up and we have an evening together. It's been really good.
Oh my goodness, that's such a good idea. And like you say, it will save a lot of arguments, especially in our house as well. And the good news story is so nice. I think that's
really,
one of
it's worked well.
Yeah. What's your good news story going to be today to take to the family that you can hold your breath for?
Yeah, well, after this, I've actually got a long breath holding. No, I think my good news story is going to be this conversation. I think it's going to be that I was invited to be part of something that I think is really cool and just nice to chat to you, and, you know, hopefully, you know, be able to do a good job for you. I think that's what it will be for me today. Yeah, they vary massively from good news stories that are quite small to good news stories that are quite big things that we're excited about. But it's just a really nice way to just finish dinner before we settle into the evening. It's just something good happened today, even if it's really tiny.
No, that's so true. And no matter how big or small it is, I think it's important to share that positivity there. But so we're talking about being positive, and a lot of there's been a lot of pressure during lockdown as well for quizzes, Zoom calls, and we were chatting a little bit just before we started recording, and you've taken a really good stance in that it's not for you, and you're not getting involved with that side. Just share a little bit more about that.
I think I've taken social distancing to the extreme. I actually just social distance myself from my phone, from everything. I think, you know what, if I'm honest, Alex, I find I suffer heavily from Zoom fatigue. Particularly when I've spent all day on the computer. The last thing I want to do for the evening is sit on the computer and chat on Zoom. And it's nice when it's kind of one-on-one or two-on-one, but I've been on like Zoom Hindu, Zoom birthday parties, Zoom quizzes, and I hate them. I know it sounds really bad, and I'm really sorry if anybody listening is somebody's Hindu or birthday that I've been to. And I know I said I was really sorry that I had to go, but I wasn't sorry. I was lying. I lied about dinner being ready, whatever it was I said, because I just didn't want to be there. But I find I don't get huge social enjoyment out of it. I don't get off a group chat and feel like I've had any quality time with anybody on that chat. I find myself having to sit there largely in silence like everybody does, because otherwise you're talking over each other. There's always somebody in our house that sat on Zoom like I am right now, yelling at the screen. And I think we all get sick of that noise. And I've decided to not beat myself up about that, and to just keep in touch with who I want to keep in touch with over WhatsApp, and not feel guilty about not wanting to participate in house party Zoom, this, that, and the other, because I think it's a bit like a cult following thing, isn't it? It's like, oh my God, everyone's hopping on the Zoom bandwagon. And I don't get me wrong, I had a great time on the bandwagon for like an hour. But I find it really taxing. And I think rather than feel that social pressure, I'm just not going to do it. It's the same in face-to-face, isn't it? Before lockdown, I remember having this chat with my dad, and he gave me, we've all had it from our parents, you know, the burning the candle at both ends conversation. And my dad said to me, oh, you know, just because people invite you to stuff doesn't mean you have to say yes if you're free. You can just choose to say no because you just want to have a night in or whatever it was. And this is exactly the same thing, that we feel this kind of obligation to always say yes and always get involved, because if not, you're being miserable. And I just think right now I've just got to, everyone has to just be kind to themselves and to do what feels right. So
no. Yeah. And I mean, we had it the other day and we were late for a Zoom call because we were on another Zoom call that was overrunning, and then you think, you can't be late, you're not going anywhere. So it's that pressure that's building, and particularly for our age group, I think it is, if this lockdown has taught me anything, it is, you know, it's okay to say no, it's okay to slow down. And I think you're completely right. So you're not invited to my birthday Zoom call next week.
Actually, I was you, I can't make it, I'm really busy.
But actually, one thing I found, and I don't know if you found it as well, is conversations like this, one-on-one, actually is a great way to chat to people, and you are catching up with people that you haven't seen. But like you say, in a big group, it makes it a bit harder.
Yeah, I think it's hard, and I think as the day on computer for work, you don't want to spend your evening on the screen, because then you're potentially spending like 15 hours on you know, I've sat in this chair for endless amount of hours. And I actually also quite enjoy spending my evening socialising with my family. If I'm busy, my dad's busy and everyone's doing stuff, I then spend the evening on Zoom, and I've got 3 people around me who I get the least amount of time with normally. So I'm just quite happy to hang out with them. I never got to say that.
Yeah, no.
I'm getting old.
How it should be. Oh, Lucy, thank you so much for coming on today. And then the final thing that I'd like to ask is what we ask everyone at the end, who they would like to nominate to be on one of our next episodes.
Oh, so it's a tough one, because if I'm honest, I was quite surprised that I got nominated. And I watched Jess Martin's interview, and I was just like, Jess Martin, you know, Sky Sports broadcaster, and it pictures her with her camera, and she's chatting about how she's achieving all this great stuff during lockdown. And honestly, I was lying in the garden, like, I mean, bless the Barnards next door, pretty much just in a thong, tanning my ass, on my phone, claiming benefit. I need job seekers allowance now, because I've hit that point of my life. And watching it thinking, Jess, what the hell are you doing? I've got nothing good to say. But you know, I think there's different reasons to nominate different people. So thanks, Jess. I'm obviously going to take the piss and nominate 2 people when you ask for one, because I don't ever listen to the rules. But I would like to nominate, first of all, my wonderful friend Nadia, known as Miss Nadia of the North East, who runs the Loft Studios up in Middlesbrough. And I'm nominating her because she has spent lockdown being incredibly flexible and dynamic towards keeping her business going, and putting the benefit all towards young kids that had a tough time, and just trying to make lockdown a bit fun and a bit normal for them. And also working with special educational needs children who have benefited massively actually from Zoom dance lessons. So I think she could share that with you, and I think people listening might have an interesting view on that. And the other one I'd like to nominate is my ex-colleague and also wonderful sparkly friend, Sally Flavel-Smith, who I haven't spoken to about nominating her for this, but as Sally will do with everything, she'll run with it. To hear what she's been doing while she's been on lockdown and furloughed from her job, because she's done something very special for her wonderful nephew who was in a terrible accident before lockdown, and she always is the most positive, sparkly, wonderful energy I could ever ask her around. Even when we had very long days on the motorway together, working long hours, she will always don her eyelash extensions, put some dry shampoo in her hair, and rock the world the way she always does. So she will be delightful for you to interview as well. So you've got 2 wonderful
Yay, that's amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Lucy. I'm so excited to speak to them and learn a little bit more about what they've been doing. So thank you. I hope you've enjoyed being on the show, and thank you very much for coming. You top Northern lass. Jess came with high expectations and you definitely succeeded. So thank you very much, Lucy.
Thanks, Alex. Lovely to see you. Bye, everyone. Have a cuppa.